Evening of Thursday, the 15th of December, 2022. This is our 2023 quarter one future planning meeting, quarterly planning meeting with NJCoffeeJunkie, starting after this music. Here's a song I wrote called Hit the Merch Store. It's about 4 minutes long. Then we'll play our theme, which I also wrote, Lay Your Head Down and Dream. And then I will be joined via telephone, live, by my project manager, NJCoffeeJunkie. So I'll see you in about 5.5 minutes.
It's absurdity in our PG font. Tycho Brahe's behind creased cardboard, but you don't pull up chairs for humor, do you? You shouldn't miss this guy Cuthris. He shakes a stone as Light Eldritch, compelling you, the viewers, to hit the merch store. 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 Walnut's Grove is gone, which sucks for a druid. Plus mail is strong, but nuts wise into it. Sigils on the cave wall stabbed like daggers. She took wolf form and she howled aloud. She bit at Cuthris and she snapped her snout. And by her instincts led you to the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Rosie, she's shopped there before. All her grandkids get gifts from this store. Little halflings with their kingpins playing footloose. I've seen them picnic beneath the stars, wearing their bright dark magic scarves. It's a one-stop shop for birthdays at the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store.
Denard's a paladin, dragonborn, who treats everybody else with scorn. But you know that they all deserve it, don't you? He gains entitlement from bits, or so Jerry claims, so I guess it fits. And they both expect you all to hit the merch store.
Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Maybe there are gods beyond whose tendrils shift their waking pawns, but Jerry kinda seems like he has got this. Except the times when the phones light up and ideas arise, then outright erupt, and Jerry's gone, volcanic curse and Rothfuss. What now, Rothfuss? Come on, Rothfuss. Ignore Rothfuss. Gosh darn Rothfuss. Dang it, Rothfuss. My game, Rothfuss. Go home, Rothfuss.
Shut up,
Rothfuss. Flippin' Rothfuss. Let's not do this. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and just let your mind flow downstream. Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And tonight, y'all are my live streaming audience. Woo! Welcome, welcome. I am excited. Before we get started, right as we were wrapping up the stream earlier today, as you can see, we got some tips earlier. We're going to leave that setting up now sign up for a few minutes because we got a big tip that rolled in right at the end of the stream as I was hitting the raid button. So we got 200 rolling in, 100 from Taffle and 100 from Incredimike, a delightful couple who have supported the stream for a long time. So we need to go ahead and process those face camera expansions before we do anything else. So let's see. The first $5 gets us one face camera expansion milestone because we were 5 away. Uh-oh, what did I just do? I don't know. I feel like I just moved something. Whatever it wasn't nailed down. So anyway, here we go. Expand. Jost. Do. Lower in the Jopacity now to, let's see, we were at 24%. We're going down to 20%. Then another 20 gets us to 25 out of $200. So here we go. It's time to expand Jost. Do. Lower in the Jopacity once again to $16. Numero trace. Even larger face. Some of y'all might be like, wow, I should have got up and got another cup of coffee. You can do that now. You have some time. So here we go. Lower in the Jopacity to 12%. We are going to be on the phone with NJCoffeeJunkie. Let's process that fourth expansion from, let's see. So the third one was 5, 25, 45, so 65. So to get to 85, yeah. Okay, 85. Woo, here we go. Expand Jost. Do. I should probably only talk about one thing at a time. If I try talking about anything other than the expansions, I lose track. But anyway, NJCoffeeJunkie, my project manager, is going to be joining us to talk about Q1 planning. Did I name it Q3 planning? I did. I named the stream 2023 Q3 planning. It's Q1 planning. I renamed the stream. We're renaming the stream while lowering the Jopacity now to 9%. Okay. There we go. Okay, so another 20 is going to get us to 85. So here we go. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Expand. Jost. Do. We are going to find my face wherever it's hiding. Where's my eyeball? Lower the Jopacity now to 6%. Do. Okay, then 105 is going to get us another face camera expansion. So here we go. This is about as large as the camera gets. Y'all don't get to see this every day, but we're starting off the stream with it. All you kids that have to get to bed early, this is your moment to see how big the camera actually gets. Let's drag it back into frame here. Before we drop it down to the 3% it's supposed to be at, let's make it a little bit more visible. This is how big my eye has gotten. That big. We're going to lower it back down to 3% where it belongs. Okay. I think that was 105. So the next 20, 125, that is going to get us to the next song here. Let me see if I can cue it up.
Dear live stream views, will you watch my face? It took up your screens and began to fade. It replaced some pixels from a game you like. And this is my job, so I wanna be a webcam expander. Webcam expander. It's off-color optics from a broken cam, and some of the chat just throws up its hands. The Jost is beaten for showtime now. It's a heady job, and he wants to be a webcam expander. Webcam expander. Webcam expander.
Wait, there was no sound for any of that. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. I was singing along and everything. It was a whole thing. Anyway, I was saying that the next 75, the remaining 75, got us one Beetlejuice expansion and halfway to the next one. Thanks to Taffle and Incredimike, once again, longtime supporters of the show. Very appreciative of them, their continuous and repeated support, and their kind holiday message. Okay, so thank you, Incredimike and Taffle. I see you there in the Twitch chat. Did you guys miss the part where I freaked out because I realized I had the title of the stream wrong like 3 times? It was originally 2020. It was originally the year 20,223 quarter 3. And then I changed the year to 2023. But I forgot to change the quarter to quarter 1. So we got the right year and the right quarter for what we're planning now. So I'm going to go ahead and in about 10 seconds, I'm going to unmute NJ. And so I'm going to give her a chance to be prepared for that. So let's go ahead. I'm undeafening here. So NJ, if she's watching from Twitch, I think I hear my voice in the background, yeah.
Hello.
What are you doing a character too?
Yeah, I'm sick.
Wow. Sick of my nonsense, I bet. That's why this is a paid gig though. So I did actually tell her. I was like, "Hey, if you're actually sick and you can't show up tonight, we can move this. Like, I don't want you stressing out about this." You're the one that insisted that we do it tonight. So
Dang right. I've been looking forward to this all week. Coughing be damned.
okay, well, if you change your mind, if it's too much for you, I can go play a block game and like I don't know, put some trees, make the trees deader. It's me, the Beetlejuice. I'm dead. I'm an expert in the post-life experience. Animal, vegetable, and mineral. I think trees are vegetables. Except for these that are actually minerals because they've been petrified. But anyway, yeah. So.
Listen to this, Chad. He thinks that he's too much for me.
Yeah.
I laugh.
We are here streaming together live via telephone. NJCoffeeJunkie project manager. The name is in the upper right, so because I know a bunch of people are gonna be like, "Wait, who's that? Is that Zombie Cleo?" No, it's not Zombie Cleo. It's NJCoffeeJunkie. It's up there in the right.
I have been mistaken for Cleo at least once, and what? I'm from New Jersey.
Clam
Cleo's not from
Meditation
New
writes,
Jersey.
"I'm the very model of a modern major Beetlejuice." I am the very model of a modern major Beetlejuice. I'm talking to an NJ coffee junkie who knows how to roast. Beans that will be grounded into coffees quite incredible. Until you roast and grind them up, they're really not quite edible. We're flying through a pinball thing. a back box that is really tall. I've got some signs of birch planks that I've hung up against the wall. We're gonna put some more signs on, and that's an order that is kind of tall. I don't know. I think this is as far as we can take this. We've reached our limit for modern major generaling on the fly in the Beetlejuice voice about project management, pinball, coffee, etc. Okay.
I'm impressed. By the way, I haven't had coffee in 3 days.
Oh no, that is no good. That is no good.
I might have some tomorrow. So I have all I have the documents open. Well, document. Ignore the original one. I opened the updated one and I have it ready for you and me. And I have all 3 chats up so I can follow along.
Fantastic.
That's
Thank
what
you.
I do.
Also,
thank
a quick
you.
reminder before we get too deep into the actual planning, we are 25 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. I forgot to post that earlier because I've got like so many things going on between the stream title being wrong, me being muted. You know what I should do is I should bring a bed up here to our planning board area.
You know what?
Yay, planning board.
You know what? You have to start off as you say you're putting the hot in the hot bar. You have to start off equally hot, you know? So you're on fire right now. Hopefully not literally. Just check if Scar's online.
Yeah, Scar is not online. It's me and Vintage Beef, who's apparently
I don't think
AFK,
Vintage
and I
Beef will
don't
set
know
you
why
on
he's
fire.
AFK. He never AFKs. I think he like forgot to log off or something.
Beef won't set you on fire. Scar will, but Beef won't.
Alrighty. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got.
Where would you like to start?
Okay, so traditionally, what we would do is we would review the last 3 months. Now,
Yes.
if we work backwards from December and November, when we wrote this, I knew vaguely that there might be an Empires crossover.
Yes.
And that we might know when we were going to do it. But when Hermitcraft is planning something, it's impossible to really, like, just because something is a good idea that we should do doesn't mean it'll get done in November and December. It might get pushed to March and April, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, for example, somebody remembers there's a World Cup going on that's going to be a huge conflict for everybody, or something like that.
Oh, hey, sports ball.
Yeah, luckily no one remembered that in advance, so it was just an ongoing rolling concern. Okay.
Happens.
So anyway, this December was kind of sparse because when we planned it out last time, I didn't know what we were actually going to be doing with that. But I've got kind of 5 rows here that we do for every month. Celebrate. So that's like stuff we want to, stuff like in the broader calendar we want to recognize, like Christmas and New Year's at the end of this year. So for Christmas, we're doing the Christmas Village. For New Year's, I haven't figured out exactly what I want to do. I'm kind of thinking about if nobody wants to do a sign on here before the Empires people leave, I might just put up like a happy 2020 or something. Or I don't know. We'll see what I have time for. It's kind of. Sometimes in New Year's, I like to do a year in review.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were going to do that this year.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, to be fair, it was kind of a good year.
Was it? It was. I just remember it being exhausting, and it makes me tired to think about it. But that's why we have this time where I have to think about it whether I'm tired or not.
You got engaged. That counts as a good year.
One thing, yeah, that is a big high point.
And I just noticed my name is spelled wrong in your stream title, so that makes 4.
Wait, where? In the stream title? Oh my god.
And I nearly spit out my tea.
I fixed it. That's why people have been writing coffee with 1 E in the different chats. I thought they were just like, coffee. We're off to a great start. People.
This is going to be a very awesome session.
Okay.
I can't help but laugh, and I apologize for all the coughing the laughing will cause.
Person who's spamming in the Twitch chat, I answered your question earlier. and don't post the same question multiple times. You can go dig through the 4.5-hour VOD from the previous stream where I had answered your question. Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, we talked about January. Let's see.
So
I have your stream up, so I can
one thing we
see
have
what
for
I'm
New
seeing.
Year's is we do have the New Year's parade on DS9.
Mhm.
I don't know if I announced the time formally. The Radical crew wants to do it on the 28th of December, which is kind of between Christmas and New Year's, at midday. So
That's probably why there was a question about the Bahala resetting.
yeah, so I need to do that.
So definitely make sure of that.
Okay, yeah, parade on the 28th. Do we have that posted anywhere?
See, Superstone, we took care of it.
Yeah, I do still need to update Bahala. That's just one of
Yeah, we
those,
talked about
like,
that pre-stream.
it's one of those things. It's hard to do when I'm tired, and if I
Of
do it when
course.
people. The other thing is, if I do it when people are online, they start following me around while I do it, and it really stresses me out. I need to just start teleporting them really far away, or like slash killing them so they don't have wings to fly back to me quickly or something. Because yeah, like the last few times I tried to do it, there were like people who were like looting it as I was putting stuff in there, and it was really like,
Oh, that's rude.
and it's like, it's really time consuming to do. I thought originally when I had the idea I could do it pretty quickly, but I'm having to enter a lot of commands to like generate new items because of
That's when you give them a
management.
12-hour. Sorry, I didn't mean to
So,
interrupt you. That's when you give them a 12-hour ban and you tell them, "Hey, wait
I
your
don't know
turn."
if I do give them a 12-hour ban, I have to unban them in 12 hours. There's not like a 12-hour ban command in Minecraft, is there? You have to just manually whitelist them and
Oh, that's true.
I'm not gonna give myself more work.
That's valid.
Okay, so
I forgot about that.
okay, so yeah, so DS9 general. I need to post New Year's parade. Hosted by Team Radical. Noon U.S. Central Time. December 28th. Guest. I actually don't. I'm realizing I don't have the guest officially confirmed. I talked to them about it, but it was not confirmed, so I should not say anything just in case that changes. Okay.
No worries.
So
Guest judges TBD.
Pin that in
or TBA.
DS9 general. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that needs to go in the Monday newsletter too. So I'm gonna copy and paste that to my newsletter queue.
Yep. And obviously include that in your pre-newsletter chat with Tommy.
Okay.
Tommy boy, best community liaison.
Boy, I took I took like a 1-hour nap before the stream. Because like the stream earlier today took a lot out of me, and then when I had dinner, I was like, I need to lie down. But
well, I'm glad you did.
I'm still like
feeling it.
I'm still recovering. I'm like, where do we type things? Computers are hard. Okay.
I can type stuff for you.
Well, I
know you're tired.
Oh, you could have put it in the newsletter work in progress channel then. Next time I ask for something to go to the newsletter work in progress channel.
Yeah. Next time you need something posted, let me do it. While your
There's no activity sign up channel. Oh, yeah. We need to actually create an activity sign up channel. December 28th.
Yeah, that I don't have the authority to do.
No, December 28th, New Year's Parade. Create channel. Thank you for reminding me. Who wants a parade route slot? Who wants a parade float? Team Redstone would like one.
Woo! Get in there.
Yay. One. Team Redstone. Okay.
Oh, I need to open your calendar too, don't I?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it did. Oh, is that that might need to go on my Google Calendar too, so I don't forget.
It is on your New Year's. It is on your calendar from 1 noon to 2.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure exactly how long it's gonna take, so I just said I blocked out 2 hours.
Oh well, it is there.
Okay.
I will try to watch that because that is technically during my workday. Yay! Because for those who didn't know, I have a full-time job.
Yay. Okay.
Yay.
So let's keep moving. So we are
Yes.
on the first line still. Of
Not for long.
yeah, not for long. We're gonna keep moving. Okay,
Let's keep it up.
so the draw for charity thing that was supposed to be in December, or originally planned for December-ish, got pushed to February, right?
Yes, it did.
So
That
let's
is
go
the
ahead,
weekend of President's Day.
and we are going to move benefit D4C President's Day.
Yep.
I need to ask Pasta again and anybody else if they want to broadcast out of my studio for that. Because I keep inviting him, but like with COVID, it's made sense to not do it here. But like...
He also moved recently, so that might be a little rough.
Oh, really? Is he not
Yes.
in St. Louis anymore?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't want to go into details in public.
No, we can. I'm sure he posted it on Twitter, but we can talk about it later.
Okay. So we build holiday builds. We're doing that. Shopping district lamps. We're not gonna get to that. Snow and Christmas decor on Elvira's House of Horrors. Santa hat on Axolotl. Well, we're in progress on the snow and Christmas decor, and we'll try to get to the Santa hat Axolotl. Honestly, of the two, I think it's more important to get the spawn area updated for winter than...
Indeed. Kindle says that February is also Groundhog's Day.
Okay, well, we will...
So I'm
We'll
adding it to the list just in case.
Yeah, we're kind of over back in December right now. I was only moving the draw for charity thing because, dang it.
Well,
because we had it in
future
December
us.
to note it was moved. So, Groundhog
No
Day.
worries. I have noted it in the updated planning doc. So you don't have to necessarily worry about it till we get there. This is for future us. So I remember that we thought about working backwards.
Well, let's finish. We're working backwards through the last 3 months first before we get to the future.
Let us continue.
Okay, so Christmas Carol this year. The point where I needed to start calling people to do it, like with a big cast, basically was a lull for revenue. And so I, for budget reasons, decided it's just going to be me and Badger this year because that's what we could afford. So so we are still doing the Christmas Carol. It does still start Sunday. When I originally wrote Christmas Carol up here, the goal was like, oh, let's do the biggest one yet. And now we're going to do it. So, yeah. And then no meetups or conventions.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. There aren't any...
our Nutson writes Christmas Carol with Empires. The Empires people aren't awake when we read the Christmas Carol at the evening streams, and they're all in bed like 3 hours ago.
I think there is a meetup in January. Isn't Chattacon around January?
I don't think I can afford to go to Chattacon this year.
That's okay.
Just realistically, I really like it. It's one of my favorite local conventions, but the other thing about it is like that's one of the events, or that's one of the weekends that my daughter's supposed to go to her mom's. That her mom frequently at the last minute cancels the trip.
Yeah,
And
that's understandable.
So me trying to go to another city that weekend is kind of fraught.
Understandably so.
Because of the way it lined up. So I don't think...
All right.
Yeah. So normally, Chattacon and PAX South would be my two big January things. But I don't want to... I think it's... Even if I was 100% sure that I could go without it being super stressful from the custody standpoint, I don't think I can justify the expense this year. Because, like, the immigration paperwork and stuff is very expensive to file. We're in the process of getting all that together right now. And then like we've been trying to sort out like even for because I have like 4 siblings who have like spouses and kids and whatnot. Like
Of
the
course.
cost of like even a small wedding is looking large. So Chattacon is definitely a nice to have trip, but I can't think of any real business upshot to going directly because there's nobody there that's like from like a work standpoint like that I would go to try to get like to sponsor the show or anything. Like with Chicago Pinball Expo, I was like, I know it's kind of a long shot, but there's some people I should talk to. With Chattacon, it would just be me going for fun, and
Yeah.
I can't justify it. So
That is more than fair.
yeah.
Okay. No worries.
So
Let's move on.
So let's go backwards now from December to November. See what So we had Thanksgiving. I did a tweet for voting day.
Yes, you did.
We had Veterans Day on the calendar as something to be aware of, but I don't think we actually did. We didn't proactively do anything for it. We just made sure not to have anything that conflicted with it. So
Yes, that's correct.
Draw 4 planning, that was basically just the agreement to push it to February.
Yes.
The TBD collab project, I think, was a fairly big success. That Empire's crossover that some of y'all might have seen.
Wildly successful. Both sets of you mutually brought your communities together, and honestly, I was wary about it at first because I wasn't that familiar with the Empire's crew.
I wasn't either. I
absolutely
didn't know anything about
wonderful.
almost any of them. Hey, real quick, we got
Absolutely
5
wonderful.
rolling in from Richard. Thank you, Richard, for tipping 5. That's gonna get us 20 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Yeah. I don't really give people the person who doesn't want to go through the VOD, I don't really give people permission to use my name, image, video, anything for things unless they're paying me a license fee. If it's fair use, you don't need to ask me. I don't care if you're courteous or not. If you're doing something educational with my stuff or doing something that you're legally permitted to do anyway, just do it and don't bother me. I don't have time. If you're like, Joe, I'm making a Netflix show and I want to feature your YouTube series in the background, can we set you up with 4 payments of $5,000? Then email me. But no, if you have a school project and you're like, I want to use a clip from a YouTuber in my project, that's covered by fair use copyright law. You don't need to chase that person down for permission. And if your teacher told you to, your teacher is wasting my time and I don't want to have anything to do with them. I don't want to make their class better by giving the false impression that you need permission for things you don't need. Maybe that's making their class worse. I don't know. I don't want to do
You're going on a tangent.
I don't want to give permission for things that I'm not being paid to give permission for. Like, if the law gives you permission, stop asking me. I'm not the law. Okay.
You're Beetlejuice, and you're going on a tangent.
Yeah.
Focus.
Yeah, I should be doing the Beetlejuice voice for this.
You should.
Oh boy, yeah, that whole thing
Multiple
with
times.
Scott Major earlier, I was just like, oh my gosh, Aviva told me I should familiarize myself loosely with these people and their work, and I didn't, and now I look like a moron.
She did try.
Dang it, Aviva, always being right. Here's my comeuppance.
Yes, and she is a lovely companion.
Okay,
I will say too.
So
In any event, yes.
So okay. Anyway, so where are we? Add components to pinball machine. We did get like the part of the apron in before the and part of the shooter lane and where this goes. We got some of that in, not as much as I that was kind of one of those things where depending on how far back the Empire's crossover got pushed, we would do more. The Empire's crossover actually ended up happening sooner than I expected. Because I thought we were going to have room to breathe after the King thing, which we did not.
No, it was like the next week. Even I was surprised about
But yeah,
that.
so right now that's kind of getting trounced by Christmas stuff. other than like draining it and whatnot. So we're gonna actually kind of move that, since that got pushed. February
fair,
2023 pinball machine components.
Yeah, so we're putting that under pinball components.
They should be under build. Thank you for pointing that out, that I'm bad at.
You're fine. This is why I'm asking for confirmation.
I only came up with this system myself.
Remember, I'm updating your document that you can look at offline while
I know. Yeah,
I'm
NJ is actually putting this in a usable Word doc thing with a grid that matches this. So I can reference this when I'm not looking at this.
Holy hand grenade, you're good. Just chill.
Okay.
All right, so build pinball components. To be fair, though, draining that area was a huge undertaking, and the fact that it's basically done and you just have to kind of clear a few more things out, that's a huge headache that's now off your shoulders.
Oh, absolutely. At the same time, like I really just want to come back from being on the Empire server strong. I want to show like clear progress, and so we need to maintain our momentum on that in the new year.
Yeah, I definitely agree, although you have to keep bailing out poor Ollie every other second.
Well, that's fun though, and like I said, he was fun. He was welcoming when we were there.
I don't mind teasing him. He's delightful.
Yeah. So let's see. In November for Try, we had design pinball machine layout. I did make some progress on that, but when it became clear how quickly we were getting smashed by the TBD collab project, aka Empire's crossover, I kind of shelved that. That I need to probably move to like craft streams in January.
Okay.
So
are we gonna put that under build?
I'm gonna put that no, because it's not actually a build. It's like I'm saying, like I need to design on paper the pinball machine layout. Like the actual board, the tables.
So
I need to draw that.
Where do I put that on our doc here?
Put that under Try, because I've never really designed a pinball machine before. Like, because we're not implementing it, we're experimenting and pushing limits and maybe finding out that it's a bad idea.
That's totally fine. I just want to make sure that I'm putting things in the right places.
Yeah. I didn't mean to remove it from there. I meant to, like, I should have dyed it red because we failed. We didn't actually play Pokemon in November because I couldn't afford it. And honestly, at this point, like, I was kind of expecting, I was expecting to have more downtime during the Empire's crossover than I did. So part of my thought was like, okay, while I can't play on Hermitcraft, I'll play Pokemon. But the Empire's thing worked better than I expected. So, and now that we're back on the Hermitcraft server, I really want to get momentum on the pinball machine. I don't think we're going to get to Pokemon. At least not anytime soon. Maybe if they come out with like a big expansion or something over the summer while my kid is gone, I'll be like, okay, I'll catch up in the main game and then do the expansion or something. But that's not.
There's probably going to be DLC along the way.
Yeah.
Isn't there usually with these games?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I only watch Pokemon. I don't really play.
Yeah, let's see. In studio pinball, I did not, because I was gonna have Don't Panic Flip come in studio and we were gonna do some streaming stuff together. His travel plans changed, so we ended up not doing that. But those two are linked. So okay, let's just roll back to October 2022. Halloween all month, every day, all the time. I think we did pretty okay with the Sodoxolotl and the Halloween trees. You know, we fit in a bunch of stuff for Halloween. We did Scars Charity.
One of my favorite builds of yours, by the way.
Say it again.
The Sodoxolotl is one of my favorite builds of yours.
Ah, thank you.
Because it's just the right amount of creepy.
We did Scars Charity, which was also one of those things where I was like, I don't know. This is the date for that got moved so many times. I didn't know when it was gonna be. It ended up being when we were away from home. But Jackie Ann rolling in and tipping too, who says that was Scott was so funny, no hate. Thank you, Jackie Ann. That puts us 18 away for the next Face Giver expansion milestone. Oh boy.
Sorry for the coughing, peeps.
What? I'm copying and pasting the Team Radical New Year's thing instead of the tip link. Okay, here's the tip link.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, nobody expected it to be that successful. We were told by the charity that, as far as they know, it was the most successful online fundraiser without matching funds ever. The only events that beat us were, or it was the most of, it was okay. It was single day with no matching funds from corporations. The only events that beat us were like way longer than one day, and also had like Amazon saying we'll match the first $200,000 or whatever that comes in.
I'll be
Um,
perfectly surprised. I'll be perfectly honest. I was not even remotely surprised.
yeah, and
With
our
with
largest individual
Mhm.
donation was $5,000, and we raised over 420,000 or
Mhm.
430,000, I think, by the end. So like that was a huge, broad effort. We're actually getting an update from the charity later this week. We've already submitted where we want them to send the hospitals. They've reached out to a
Mhm.
bunch of the. Basically, we sent lists where like my list was like first choice is Vanderbilt Children's Hospital because that's where my kid had her surgery.
Of
Second choice
course.
is anything in broader Metro Nashville
Mhm.
and Middle Tennessee. Third choice would be Chattanooga area because I have family down there with kids.
Mhm.
And so um, basically, they reached out to all the hospitals on our list and are getting back to us with an update of what they could and couldn't do. So we're going to have some things to announce eventually on that. But like it's moving behind the scenes, but we aren't like quite bringing out the carts yet. But we're getting there.
It for especially as many as you were able to fundraise. That is not going to be a short order. That needs time and logistics and collaboration.
Mhm.
Yeah, the fact that you're going to be hearing from things over the next couple of weeks is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I was expecting that no one would be heard from for at least another month
Well,
because
I
of
mean,
just
the
the
number of
sheer
carts that they
volume.
have to build, they're going to come out in waves. So like the
Exactly.
first
Yeah.
waves should be early next year, if
Yeah.
not like or like the very like the absolute tail end of this year. Like some of them might already be like the ones that are going really like intercontinental might be on ships already, but they'll take weeks to
Hmm.
get to where they're going. But
Oh, of course. Yes.
um
Of course.
okay. So moving on, October was a
Moving on.
successful month for builds. We had Halloween stuff. We kind of helped
Hmm.
with other people's mini games. We helped with the minigame tunnel before the charity event. Royal collab stuff. I think we did okay on that. I wish I could have done
Hmm.
more, but with traveling it was hard. The little shop costume we got done. Um
Oh, that's right. You were able to. You went to the pinball in Chicago, right?
well
And then you
that's
were with, and that was after because you came
that was also in
through.
October, yeah.
Yeah, you were
Um
very busy in October.
Kindle says, does Cleo still have an unplayed minigame that could become an episode? No, we played that today during the stream, and I don't know if it could become an episode because we played it with 10 people, and I don't know if you've ever done I have an escape game with 10 people. It's a bunch of people yelling, hey, there's a hole in the wall over here. Okay, I've got a lock that needs colors. I've got a lock that needs numbers. I've got a lock that needs shapes. What kind of shapes? Shapes with between 3 and 8 sides. Okay, I've got a toy over here with shapes between 6 and 12 sides on it. Okay, and it's just, I don't know if I could possibly edit it to be comprehensible.
So
Is
is that the real total chaos?
The real total chaos is a 12-minute run of a 30-minute game because we had 10 people screaming. So I was not, the thing is, I wasn't even trying to understand the whole game. When I go in and I do an escape game in real life, I pay attention to what people are saying about the things I see in front of me, so I
Mhm.
can yell back what I'm seeing in front of me to the right person. You know? Like,
Mhm.
meanwhile, because there's entire, like, paths of branching puzzles, and you only have to worry about the stuff on your path. Okay. So, let's see. Also, somebody wants to know if we could, if they have a cart going to a hospital near you, do you have a method of filming it for being there for inclusion in a later episode? Yes. So that's one of the things that they're reaching out to the hospitals about is they want permission, if possible, for hermits to actually go they want us to be the ones to deliver the carts so that we can show our community that this is money that was actually like spent properly, because if we do this again, it's really important. People don't like being like, hey, we gave you 400 grand. What did you do with that? Right. And so from a credibility standpoint, it's very important for us. It's not like, oh, we need to claim credit. I don't want to go out there and be like, I'm such a great guy because I'm on Hermitcraft. I need to get a celebrity picture with this cart. But I need to go deliver the cart to show y'all, to give you peace of mind that when we vet a charity, we did a good job, right? So we want to reward the community, as Kingu puts it, by showing you that your money was well spent. Right. That there's a difference between that and me like getting a picture of handing a check to somebody at a hospital to go in the newspaper. This is not to show off to people who don't know me. This is to show people who supported the charity and to let them know we're doing it. Right. So with COVID restrictions and RSV and stuff like that going around right now, though, that's one of the things that they're going to be updating us on the end of the week. Is which hospitals are going to be cool with it and which ones aren't. Like, honestly, Vanderbilt Children's Hospital is my hospital of choice, whether they let me walk in there or not with the cart. They're the ones I want to have the cart. It's more important to me that they get it than that. Like, I don't want to say, well, if you're not willing to let me in during a pandemic, then we'll take our cart somewhere else, right? That's not cool.
Yeah.
In that case, though, we're going to ask the doctors who receive it, because we can't necessarily get pictures of the kids for
excuse me,
like taking pictures of kids in hospitals is like a whole like release form publicity legal nightmare. But in the very least, we'll get some doctors or nurses to take a selfie with it, that we can post just to show that it went out there. But we really want to, ideally, the best case scenario is if the restrictions are loosened enough when we go there, or when the carts are ready to reach our local hospitals, we will go individually to our hospitals. Some of us might not take pictures with the carts. Like, for example, Cleo is not necessarily there to like get a selfie of her because she doesn't do that, right? But
I would assume that if she did that, it would be for her own personal use and not for public consumption.
Yeah, but she can still go to the hospital and verify the cart arrived.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, like it'll be okay.
Yeah, she could totally just take a picture of the cart.
Yeah. And that way we know that, like, because we want to have peace of mind. We'd love to work with these folks again in the future, possibly, and everybody feels better if they see the money went where it's supposed to go. So that's something to do sometime in the first. That is actually something in the first quarter of next year, is visit hospital with cart, but we don't know when. So that's. I'm not going to put that on a particular month, but okay.
Okay.
Mobile streaming and recording. I think that the mobile streaming setup we had worked pretty okay on the whole. We definitely could improve it, but realistically, with expenses for immigration filing and wedding and hopefully honeymoon coming up, I'm just not going to be able to really travel between now and probably whenever that happens for the most part. So, or if I am traveling, it'll be in situations where I wouldn't necessarily be able to stream logically anyway. I mean, there's a few things I want to take my kid to where it would make sense to try to maybe stream from the road, but like it's not on the level where I'm like, I need to get more gear so I can have more people in the room for it. It'd be like, okay, my kid is in bed, I'm going to stream from the hotel with what I've got. So,
that makes sense.
Yeah, what we had seemed to work pretty good. We had Toxic Glitter's modded server launch. I think people play on there. I don't actually track like player data on the servers I run, so I'm just assuming that that's working well. Yeah, maybe following up on that at some point would be good. I'm saying that out loud, but like I haven't gotten any complaints, so like it's fine.
All right, I'm inserting a column called Other.
Yeah. At
And I'm
some
gonna put it in January for
what
you.
what I'll say is whenever we get to like this season of Hermitcraft, we're probably nearing halfway through, but not at halfway yet. And most of my Minecraft servers that I run, they change on the same cycle Hermitcraft does. So realistically, getting feedback on that in like 9 to 12 months will be valuable, but I'm not too worried about it. Like that's not a quarter one of 2023 thing. Elijah says the modded server is really cool. I need to play more. Awesome.
I added an asterisk.
Yeah.
Handle at your own leisure.
Okay. Discord prune and vacation mode. I never got around to writing the blog post about the vacation mode. We are coming up on adding channels back in, but I'm gonna say I think that was pretty successful. We had 7 people drop their Patreon sponsorship for the month of October, which was really reassuring to me because I saw some people say, like, I can't believe Joe's leaving the Patreon open, or he's leaving the Patreon billing open, but he's not keeping the Discord open. And I'm like, I was pretty sure I gave people 2 months notice to let them know they could cancel it that month if they didn't want to pay for it, you know? Like, and a bunch, 7 people canceling, I mean, that means somebody heard it. So I feel like that means I did my diligence there. So I felt like...
there are always going to be some people firmly in that camp of what we talked about offline in terms of it not being a good idea, but seeing what it was able to do for your mental health allowed you to focus on spending that quality time with your daughter, which you said you only get every certain period
every
of time.
2 years I get like a fall break like that. And it
Exactly.
also was one of those things where it's like I'm trying to like figure out a million details about like the engagement and stuff like with Lauren visiting, and like I just couldn't juggle that many things. And so
and
we definitely proved that vacation mode is valuable. One thing we also proved was that we figured out that the time I need it most is when I'm traveling places where I need my phone to coordinate with people. Originally, when we pitched vacation mode, I was thinking anytime I go spend time with my family, like over Christmas, or they come to me or whatever, and I don't want to be distracted, we should maybe just shut it all down. But what I realized is the real problem is when I go to conventions and I'm traveling to events where there's other people I need to coordinate with Discord. Having the Discord, because at that point I can't uninstall Discord from my phone. I actually put Discord back on my phone when I travel. I have it not on my phone when I'm at home, unless I'm like taking a call with the hermits or something. I'll reinstall it every Thursday afternoon and uninstall it after. And
I mean,
so
you even use Discord to communicate with Manatee and I.
Exactly. So... When I go to PAX, everybody's on Discord. So one of the things we realized is we don't need to go into vacation mode for like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which originally I was thinking we would do basically any time that I was stepping away. But I talked to the mods about it, and everybody was just like, okay, I think we can manage keeping it open over Christmas and New Year's, even though there's going to be times where I'm away with family and friends, because I don't necessarily have to have Discord on my phone at that time. And if that blows up in my face this year, we'll revisit it for next year. But
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I have to sneeze.
Yeah, no problem. Assess long-term goals and plans.
Okay, there we go.
I feel like I had the opportunity to get some perspective on, and I feel good about that in October. The travel, the shutting down, the Discord for a month, it all really paid off there.
I put your goals, which were your operation standards, I think.
Yeah.
I wrote them just down as goals, and they're in the planning doc.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those aren't necessarily...
And honestly, I mean, they're continuous though, and they should be continuous. They should be continuous goals, not just standards, but goals to strive for year after year. And looking at what you've done, you have here, and I just want to run through this with you really, really quick before we dive into the meat and potatoes of getting these next 3 months planned. Number 1, staying sane while providing for your family. you've taken great strides to do that, whether it's you utilizing and being somewhat firm about the vacation mode and testing that out, putting more trust in your, I see that, Kindlist, 1 second, um, encouraging encouraging yourself to take breaks, empowering your mods to do what they need to do, um, and valuing the efforts of others by how you treat your mods. You have one of the best groups of mods. And by the way, I am not a mod. I'm the project manager. That's a completely different
No,
ball of
NJ is
wax.
not talking about herself. She knows I would make fun of her if she did. Whether she's
I'll
whether she's
I'll
correct
talk
or
about
not,
myself.
I
I
would
will
be like,
talk
"Oh,
about
gee,
myself
NJ, I'm
later,
glad
sir.
that you
I
decided to
will
slow
talk
things
about
down for a
myself
minute
later.
to talk about how great groups that include you are." You know what's also great is the board of Draw for Charity, and which
You
is legitimately also great. But
listen, you don't make me come over there.
okay,
Encouraging folks to connect with one another. You did that amazingly well in having your Discord promote other Discord servers, especially asking people or like encouraging them to be utilized during these vacation modes, because those they there were people who went to these other spaces and were able to stay connected, and that was what was really at the heart of what I think people's concerns were how are we all going to stay connected. So that, I think, is a bonus. Making the most of every effort, you've done that. Balancing your health and effort, yes. Respecting your audience, you just went on a 10-minute tangent, an important one, about the work that you did with the charity event and how you're going to demonstrate that that money is going to a good thing. Learning and growing. Your episodes, enough said. Diversifying technical risk, testing out the travel situation and creating opportunities for others. Identifying charity partners, helping with SCARS stuff, the Draw for Charity stuff, promoting others. You've brought in Janie Laney on your crafting streams, and you talk about the pinball community, and you talk about MPT3K, and you whether you realize it or not, you are actually a genuine person, and I can't
how
really
would
hear
you
any
not realize it if you were genuine? Being genuine isn't like being skillful at drawing. Like, some people are like, they're really good at drawing, but they're like, I'm
There we
not
go.
that great. But like, I feel like if you're lying to yourself or others or
Oh, yeah.
not. That's not like something where you're like, well, my hero, Walt Disney, was way better at not lying to others than me, so I couldn't possibly be that genuine. Like, what? Okay. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know. If somebody doesn't know how genuine they are, they're lying to you. Like, also, I posted a link. I posted a link to joehills.net/objectives where I just copied and pasted this. I had these objectives written down like 3 years ago or something when I was first trying to take this business full time, as like, what do I need to consider while I work? And I haven't posted it on the website until now, but since I'm hearing NJ read it aloud, and I know not all of y'all want to hear a list like this, you can go to joehills.net/objectives, where I have put that on a website to view. Lakshmi13 writes, Joe is genuine. A genuine pain in the butt! That was a pretty sick burn, Lakshmi13. Mahi0 says, as soon as NJ used the word genuine, I knew this was coming.
Thanks for the warning now, Mahis. Yeah. But anyway, and I'm going to
12-hour ban.
Don't make me come over there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take just 30 seconds because we have to move on because it's already 9:30.
But no, I'm glad that you actually did take the time to go through these, because it shows how important it is for them to be public facing rather than just in my notes.
Well, not just that, but when it comes to, sticking to your goals and your ideals, sometimes you need a reminder to make sure that you're on the path you want to be on.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I do every single year. In fact, I'm still drafting my goals for 2023 because, as you know, my life radically changed earlier this year. And I
Mhm.
want to take these 30 seconds to thank you, because when everything was crashing around me and I thought I was going to get fired and all this other nonsense was swirling around and I didn't know what to do, you were there for me. You and my other friends and Manatee were all there for me when I was at a really, really, really low point in my life. And you helped me get through it till I could get out of it. And I will always be grateful for that. And no, I'm not saying that to be sappy. It is legitimate. I went through hell. And I'm not coughing, which is a shock. But still.
Yay.
Yay. But we can keep these goals, but consider amending them as this year progresses, as you see fit. And we can go over them separately, or we can go over them at another time.
One thing about these objectives, and like I said, I came up with these when I wrote these. I wrote these up when I was going full time back in, I guess that would have been July or June of 2020. So I wrote
Something like
those
that. Yeah, it was like when
two
we
and a
first
half
started
years
working
ago.
together.
But like
When
I
we
didn't
first started
write
working
them
together.
like, hey, this is my first time thinking about what I want to do here. Like I had been thinking about what I wanted to do with this
I've been.
stuff since I like started off in webcomics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so some of the items on this list wouldn't have been on this list 10 years ago, but like this is the collected wisdom or experience of like stuff from like 2007 until present. This is like 15 or 16
Mm-hmm.
years worth of stuff. Even when I wrote it 2.5 years ago, it was like 15 or 14 years worth of stuff that I had thought about and just hadn't collected. And so I think it's pretty rare that we run into a problem
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, that is, or run into something that isn't already, like this is, I think, fairly comprehensive.
It is comprehensive, and it's actually really impressive. A
Um,
lot of people don't think that deeply about what they need for their own mental health and happiness and what's going to make them successful in their chosen field.
yeah.
Um,
I would
you
say
have a path.
one of the things that I think I am missing though is the only thing I don't really talk about, like there's not a lot of talking about the art in here because
Mm-mm.
like the creative side of stuff I feel like that part I know, or
Mm-hmm.
or that part I don't have to put on paper and justify to people.
Mm-hmm.
But like whereas like the business decisions I feel like I need to present more logic behind. So as I'm looking at this, I am seeing there is a gap in like what my kind of creative focus is, I guess. But this really does demonstrate at least how I'm approaching the business part of all this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we can come back to that. I do want what I'm kind of hoping as I'm trying to switch gears. We've been in survival mode for the last
Mm-hmm.
couple of years. I'm trying to switch into being more proactive, and I really feel like the King Ren storyline and the stuff with the Empire's people has helped me get back into my creative groove. That was one of the big things with shutting down the Discord for October. Was I realized it used to be when I got in the shower, I would be thinking about funny jokes or build ideas, but like for the last like year and a half, like I would wake up, get in the shower, and I would be thinking about like the Discord terms of service, and it was
Oh
just
my
like
goodness.
it was just eating my life. Like when I was cooking dinner, I was thinking about like problems with Discord, and not necessarily like problems with our community necessarily, but just having something like that sprawling. Like the more the community grew, the more we were kind of hitting the edges of what Discord did, and I don't know. And Discord kept adding features that were stressing me out, and I was like, I'm wasting all this energy just thinking about Discord all the time, and just taking that 1 month break from having to, or whether or not I had to in the first place, but like
Excuse
it
me.
just gave me a chance to reset that, and that was really valuable.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to turn it off and turn it back on again.
Yeah. diversify technical risk needs a Musk addendum. I mean, I feel like don't depend on anything that can be bought by Facebook. I forgot I had written that explicitly.
You did write that
I
explicitly.
did write that
and I laughed
explicitly.
my butt off
That's
about
literally
it.
like, hey, like if somebody's like, "Hey Joe, are you gonna do this with the metaverse?" No, one of the core values of my company is that we don't do anything with Facebook.
Which I find hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't even really use Facebook anymore. I keep it for my relatives.
Yeah. No. Automatic owns Tumblr now. Blaze the Beanie Baby, like Photomat, owns it. But anyway,
Anyway, we're digressing. Let's move on.
Yeah. So moving on to actual. We got January, February, March. We have talked about
Yes, we
working backwards
Yes.
from March. Boy. The only okay, so we've got the only event that I've actually got on my calendar here is in March, I think, is the Tennessee Game Days Spring. Right?
I will put that under meetups.
Yeah, that's one of the events I've been going to annually for years. So that's March 3rd through 5th, TGD Spring.
I have to see if that's something that would be in our a financial wheelhouse to attend.
Yeah.
Because it would be lovely to see you in person again.
Yeah, I really think trying to get to the Texas Pinball Festival. I know I said I can't really do any travel purely for pleasure, but like I said, I do want to follow up. Like, there's some people I've been emailing about and texting about trying to get pinball related sponsorships for pinball streams. I think I'm gonna keep getting down there as a possibility, because that could actually be the sort of trip that could pay off. But I'm gonna that's kind of a maybe.
When is that?
March 24th through 26th.
Okay.
That I haven't bought tickets. I'm not a guest on a guest list or anything right now.
And PAX East is that weekend.
I definitely can't afford PAX East. Boston is way too. Yeah, I can't afford Boston.
Yeah,
right
we're
now.
considering going because we have a conference the same weekend in the same town. Oh, you sound as good as I do.
Yeah, but I muted for OBS, so they wouldn't have known I was coughing. Oh wait, I'm on camera.
Yeah, you're on camera.
Dang it.
Rip.
Kindleless was saying Groundhog Day is important because we're gonna have the Groundhog Day parade.
That's right.
Okay, Groundhog Day parade. And was that Team Redstone hosting that?
I believe so.
Is that why Kindleless is?
Have the list.
A sponsored edition of an IRL pinball machine sitting in the Hermitcraft pinball machine would be amazing.
Kindleless says yes.
Okay, that's Team Redstone. Okay, so let's look at that real quick. Let's look at the calendar for January. Can we figure out what day is good for this Groundhog Day parade?
All right, January calendar's open.
Okay, so 28th is a Saturday, 29th is a Sunday. Neither of those seem to be a holiday weekend or anything. I don't think I have anything hopping. Calendar.google.com.
Ow.
Hermitcraft stream. Okay, let's go check the IFPA website real quick. Tournaments. Because I told Corinne if there's tournaments on weekends, I'm going to try and take her. Because there's not very often... like, most of the tournaments in Nashville are on weekdays. So if they do have a Saturday or Sunday one...
That's extra special then.
Then it's special, and I have to take her. But no, there's nothing between January 26th and February 1st. Here.
The 22nd is. That's not. Thank you, Kindleless. That's not on your calendar. The
22nd is the UHC. Oh yeah. So let's
the UHC for the community.
Noon Hermit Fan UHC.
Yeah, throw that in the thing.
Okay. So for the 29th, yeah, well, Kindleless is is the 29th of January at noon Central Time work for you for Team Redstone Groundhog Day Parade?
Waiting for response.
Can it be a later in the day? People in Pacific time have trouble with noon. We could go to 1 or 2, but if it gets us past that, we get to Europe problems. What would you prefer? Kindleist, you're technically hosting it at your site. Would 1 or 2 be better for you? Do you think? $2 p.m. Okay. 2 p.m. U.S. Central, January 29th. January 29th. Okay. We need to lay our heads down and dream here.
Apparently there are going to be skin. Nice.
Okay. How are we not? Dang it, son. Okay. So the Hermit Fan UHC is definitely a try. We've never done this before. Hermit Fan UHC, January 22nd. We're going out on a limb with that, but I'm hoping it works. Okay, wait. So let's get back to... We were in... Oh, gosh. We were in March. We're trying to do March stuff. Okay. So, in terms of other stuff in March, there's packs, which I can't afford. I don't think there's anything else huge coming up. See, I actually did add, all the way down here to June. So if we think of random stuff that's like, oh wait, that's not till April, we can slap it down there, but that's not our focus right now.
Yeah, no, we need to focus on 1 month at a time. Also, it's been over an hour. How are you on your hydration?
Yeah, I should probably take a quick hydration break. So yeah, let me check our spreadsheet and see who we need to thank here. Let's go ahead and thank Gripmonger, who requested lines. That song is, I should know how long it is. I think it's 4 minutes even. Yep. So I'm going to be back in 4 minutes. NJ, I'm going to mute you so they won't be able to hear either of us. And I'll see you in 4 minutes. Okay. So then there's the song, and I will be right back, y'all.
Power line to convey a certain brilliance, a telephone line to carry a voice, a metro line to bring us all downtown. Lines of connection, communication, not the borders of boundaries that slice and dice a nation. Divided by the chalk lines of disreputable history, past failures are laid out as we shrug with absent mystery. Those bodies left behind us while we amble on ahead, fearful of the wrong things from newspapers unread. Before I tell you what to do, or you try to tell me, let's all see what's been done and where we could have been. By knowing what's before us, the path might clear ahead, and focus on new obstacles uncharted by the dead. A power line from a gurgling turbine telephone line from a quiet room, a metro line from across the city. Maybe we'll all raise our glasses soon. They say across the fence line the grass is always butcherous, but we're not corralling cattle, fearing wranglers about the murders. When we look out past dividers, we're unsurprised to see more folks erecting fences, becoming detainees. Before I worry about you or you worry about me, let's all dwell on ourselves. We're the private enemy, becoming who we're meant to, virtuous and creative. We won't dread the different, the strange or unrelated. A power line to convey certain brilliance, a telephone line to carry a voice, a metro line to bring us home, to bring us home.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome back to NJ Coffee Junkie. We are back from our hydration break with fresh soda, or at least I am. I don't know what NJ's doing. You there, NJ?
Maple ginger tea.
Oh, that's a lot of words. Okay.
It's a lot of flavor too.
Apparently. Okay. Let's get our hot bar visible again. One of the things to keep in mind is that one of the reasons we start from further out and work our way inward to the present is because otherwise we get bogged down too much in what we're going to be doing in the next few weeks. This March 2023 is probably going to be pretty sparse in terms of what we're planning here. So somebody asked about spring break. Well, so I never have my daughter for spring break. So that means I'm going to have 10 days in the middle. Oh, this is the one trip that I am trying to do, but it's not... I'm in the process of getting my passport now. So I'm hoping to try to visit Badger's friends and family. This is not a work trip. I'm not going to be streaming. I'm not going to bring any of my gear. Now, in order to do this, it might be a pretty rushed trip because I can't necessarily afford to. But like basically, while my daughter is with the other side of the family for spring break, I'm going to try and get over to the UK for a few days. And at least, introduce myself to Badger's family and friends there, especially the people who can't make it to the wedding. So that's going to be a pretty big thing, which means we need to put back here in January 2022 under finish passport process. I was waiting on some documents to come back from the county I was born in, and I finally got those. So
Under February?
January. In January, in December, I need to finish this in the next few days.
Rip. Get on that. But you are getting on that, so.
I was just mostly
You're
waiting
doing
on
everything
paperwork
you
to
can.
come in the mail. So finish passport process. I need to
that
go get
took
my
forever.
photo because the thing is getting the photo. I think both the immigration thing and the passport thing. Well, I don't know if it's quite as strict on the passport, but for the immigration paperwork we're filling out, the photo has to be within 30 days of when you file. So that's one of the last things. You make sure you have everything all together, and then you get your passport photo taken.
Yep.
Joju says, as long as you're doing passport clearance, you should look at a TSA pre-check. It saves a ton of time.
It really does.
I've heard that, but like, I don't really expect to fly very often. I'm gonna be pretty broke this upcoming year, so like I'll have like a few big trips, but I'm not gonna have like in a pre-COVID year I would have had a bunch of like short 2-day trips, but this year it's like okay, I'm gonna have a few days in the UK. And then I'm hoping that the wedding, we're able to get the immigration clearance to have the wedding this year, and then we'll do the honeymoon. But we might even be driving somewhere for the honeymoon because I don't know if we're going to be able to afford to fly. Also, with the immigration restrictions, we have to do the honeymoon in the U.S. Badger won't be allowed to leave the U.S. for 2 years after the wedding when the green card is
really?
finalized. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's why it's important for us to kind of have a going away party for her in the UK when I can go over there and meet her family and friends and stuff. So that's going to be my
wait to
big
do that.
experiment for March is international travel. I'm hoping to learn a lot. Now, if that goes well, though, there are things like Mindvention and whatnot in like Ireland that at the point where I've got my passport, I can figure out how to get over there for that. But if they're willing to pay for me to go, or at least part of it, but I'm not sure I'm a big enough deal. Yeah, Kindlelist points out Nashville has many honeymoon destinations, like Dollywood. I mean, we can drive to Florida from here, which I hate driving, but I don't want to not have a honeymoon because I can't afford it twice in a row. Like, I don't know. Because that's one of those things where it's like, I tried to be really practical and pragmatic about stuff like that and be like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Like, when we have more money, we'll take a trip together. But it really bummed me out, like, more than I expected it to. And I don't want to do that again. Like, I have knowledge that I'm not that stoic or pragmatic from experience. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there are a bunch of different places that you can go to and really enjoy. I mean, you did go to Niagara. That's where we went for our honeymoon, and it was absolutely delightful.
Yeah, that was really cool. So we don't need to. The thing is, we're waiting on immigration to approve the wedding stuff. So like that might be January of 2024 if we're unlucky. It's like apparently this takes between 4 and 14 months. So, I'm not gonna worry about the honeymoon today. But I do need to make sure that basically once things cool off with the Empire's stuff, I need to just be recording as much as I can now. Because there's going to be a lull between Christmas and New Year's on the server probably because a lot of people are traveling or family stuff. And like my kid goes to see the other side of the family between Christmas and or like after I have her through Christmas and then she goes to see the other side of the family. So I have a bunch of downtime around New Year's. So I'm like I'll just knock out all the stuff like finish passport process and stuff then. Okay, so we're not doing any meetups in December, but we already said that.
Sure.
Okay, so back to March. So
YouTube super chat.
Oh, YouTube super chat. Thank you, Chloe the Great and Powerful, who says tosses a handful of coins in the honeymoon jar. Thank you. That puts us 15 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Woo!
Woo!
Tips are welcome via paypal.me/ oh wait, that's joehills.net/. Hold on, let me get the actual link. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/joehills and YouTube super chat. And let me make sure we didn't miss any PayPal tips. No, we are good. Okay, so I don't want to do anything too crazy experimental in March other than international travel. That's going to be enough of a stressor. In terms of build, let's pinball continued is going to be part of it.
Pinball continued.
There's no way we get the pinball machine done in 2 months. And then maybe some UK trip stuff. Because it's like if I visit the UK, I come back and I'm like, oh, I got to see this building that was cool. Why don't we build, or I get to see this or that. We'll figure that out. In terms of charity, we've got draw 4 in February. I don't necessarily have anything that I know of in March. Do you know of anything going on in March already?
Well, besides the stuff that we already talked about, TGD for spring, Texas Pinball, PAX East, whether or not you go to whichever. You talked about visiting the UK. As far as I know, there is nothing going on in March. I know I personally don't have anything because I'm expecting to travel the tail end of March into mid to late April, locally for conferences and stuff.
Okay.
But I haven't heard anything like major going on.
Let's
No
add
tournaments or
Springify trees near Elvira's House of Horrors. Mahi Zero points that out. That's something we're gonna want to definitely do.
In March?
In March, yeah.
Okay, I will add that to build.
So under build, yeah. Team Holland has Van Gogh's birthday for their event, which is March 30th. So, okay. So parade, Van Gogh's birthday. We're going to reach out to them about getting a date later. That's not urgent.
Where would I put that? Celebrate. I'll put it under celebrate.
Yeah, celebrate because Van Gogh's birthday is March 30th.
Team Holland's Van Gogh event.
Yeah, okay.
I can spell, I swear.
I believe in you. Woo.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. In terms of February conventions, I can't think of anything going on in February. I'm just gonna write possibly host people for D4C. Although you said Pasta's moved further away and is unlikely to do that.
I don't
Gogh's
know.
birthday
That's
is
something you'd have to talk
June
to him about.
6th.
Huh?
Okay. I'm getting conflicting birthday information. No, it's the 30th of March. Okay.
They're talking about something completely different.
Okay. Yeah,
move
we will
on.
worry about that later then. Okay. So let's see. Actually, one thing I'm going to put on December 2022, because I'm realizing I'm doing it now, is experimental keyboard.
Okay, and that is under what? January?
No, that's under December. Try, because like
Okay.
this thing has like macros and stuff that I'm still learning how to use. So
Yes, I heard you experimenting them.
I'm messing
with
around with
them.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the most complex pieces of hardware I've ever purchased that is not like a general purpose computer. This is, or I didn't purchase this. It was a gift from Corrales, but like, I am shocked. Like, cause the one he gave us 2 years ago was a really good keyboard. But like, this is like, just, it does things I didn't know a keyboard could do. It has mouse buttons. I can move the mouse from the keyboard.
Yeah, you showed that off the other day. It's really cool.
It's kind of eerie, but like you can use that for recording macros and stuff, and it's like Corrales is the Tom Holland of gifts. Okay, so why do my signs have nondescript writing on them instead of being blank?
They're not nondescript.
No. The one in my offhand here. It's got like L_U_J_U.
Yeah, it's all Greek to me.
I. Wait, is this where Luigra got their name from? Does this say Luigra? Now that I'm actually looking at it, it kind of. Not quite. No.
Possibly. I'm sure they will let us. They're in chat.
Yeah. Okay. It's the curse of vanilla textures, apparently. Okay, so I think we're ready to close out March. We're at
I think so. There's a bunch of stuff already here.
Yeah. So February is weird
Yep.
because it's kind of like a catch-up month for January. We got a bunch of stuff. Like, all of the pinball stuff is going to just push into February. Literally, like, the text is running into February here.
Yeah, it is tap dancing on it a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. So we'll have, pixel art on Pinball Machine. It might be that January is me just trying to get the art in, and then February is the components and the.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe I'll try and get, if we can, in January.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because we were putting Playfield in February on the. No, Playfield is here. So cut Playfield. It's gonna go there.
You want to put that on your build?
Oh, people are saying Valentine's Day is in February. Oh, yeah. We had
yeah,
done
that's
Valentine's cards. So, like, in previous years, I've done, like, screenshots of me around the server with dumb puns. We could do Valentine's Day cards again.
Yeah, I think Manatee gave me one or two, sent them to me for Valentine's Day once.
Well, there you go, and it was the best day ever. Also, Mary, thank you for rolling in and tipping 5, who says, Happy Holidays. Appreciate you, Mary. That puts us 10 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. I will say, I think one thing that we want to try is we want to try keeping the morning streams when there's more people logged on. Even once the Empire's crossover ends, there's just more people on the server in the morning. It leaves me scrambling because my normal editing time would be right after I drop off my kid at school, but it's kind of silly. And kind of the way, one of the reasons for that was when we first started the season, there were so many people on the server at once, there were real performance issues. And so we've obviously upgraded some things so that we could fit all the people from the Hermitcraft and Empire's communities at once for this crossover. But also, a lot of Hermits are recording more sparsely now. The first few weeks of the server, everybody is on as much as they can be, right? So me doing more of my recording at night was kind of a courtesy to other people to keep the server resources from being hit at the same time that they're hitting it. But now I'm just so that's actually another thing that we've actually been trying in December was more early server, more early in the day, or earlier in the day server time.
And we're putting that in.
I'm putting that in December because we're already doing it, and it's going to kind of continue. Earlier in the day. Keyboard can't save me for myself. Recording.
It's also me. I have a loud keyboard too.
Streaming on Hermitcraft. Okay, so I think that's been really successful. We're not necessarily seeing a huge. One of the things I was hoping was that if we spread out the recordings throughout more times in the day, we would see a broader pool of people tipping. So that way we're not burdening any particular people too much. Because some folks here are very generous, and I want to demonstrate to them that I'm actively working to ensure that, they don't feel any pressure.
Of course.
So I do see some new names tipping on the earlier streams, but like to a large degree, it's the same people just when they're at work rather than when they're at home, which I was not expecting.
I've noticed that.
I was not expecting that. And one thing I've been bouncing around is I don't know how to do it. Never mind. This is maybe on a day that follows a day that I don't stream at night. Like Thursday morning.
Yeah, Thursday.
Or something like that. Because I don't stream Wednesday night. I don't stream Tuesday night. So maybe either Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. Doing just like a 5 to 7 a.m. stream before I get my kid ready for school.
I would suggest that
as
to
just
be on a Thursday, because on a Wednesday morning you have your stream
I
with
have the crash
Cleo,
with
and
Cleo right
sometimes you do
after.
something in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So that is going to completely deplete whatever energy you have left. So save that for a Thursday idea.
Yeah. Well,
It's not
part
a
of
bad
it.
idea,
Yeah. Well, and
but
part
it's
of it
not an
too, though,
idea to
is
do on a
people are always
Wednesday.
like, "How come you don't record with certain people on the server?" And it's like, well, they like to record before lunch their time, and before
Mm-hmm.
lunch their time is before 6 a.m. my time. And so unless we go out
Which
of
is
our
rough.
way to like, unless they inconvenience themselves and or I can inconvenience myself, it's not going to happen, right? Not
Yeah.
easily. And so trying
And
to
that's
get
tough. Yeah.
more record. So basically saying I'm going to have one day a week where I try and do some recording or streaming with the early crowd. And then also kind of broaden the audience of live streams there. I don't think that's not something I can't do an 8:30 to 10:30 at night show and a 5 a.m. show every day of the
No,
week. That's not going to work. But maybe it feels like
that's
once a week is something to consider.
irresponsible. Not gonna lie.
Centauratron says those would be streams I would miss out on unless I want to get up after 4 or 5 hours of sleep. But that's okay. I want there to be the other thing is I want there to be stuff in the episodes that even people who show up for all the streams are like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I didn't know that was going to happen," right? And
Yeah.
if I'm recording, like, it's one of those things where Centauratron, you'll get to see the best parts of what happens in those streams in the episodes still, but you won't have to sit there for 2 hours to experience it, right? You just get the best 4 minutes in the episode.
I can already hear you scolding me now to go back to bed if I happen to be up that early.
Yeah. Grumpy Bunny rolling in and tipping 10 writes, just because that is going to get us evenly to our next face camera expansion milestone. So here we go. It's time to expand me. So there we go. I'm the Beetlejuice with the Beetlemost. We are $50 away even from the next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Yeah, Chloe the Great and Powerful says, I'd love to see more crossover with the early morning people. I would too. That's one thing this Empires thing really showed me, is if I want to collab with people, I need to be awake when they're... I can't expect other people to adapt to my schedule, because if there's 6 other people on the server when they're awake, or when they're naturally, like, that's my recording or streaming time or whatever, like, for a special event, like, if I pulled somebody's name for, like, April Fools or whatever, then I'll be like, hey, I got you for April Fools. We gotta record something together. Yeah, then we'll make it happen. But, like, if it's just like hey, do you mind if I stop by your base and chat with you about something? It's like, oh, boy, I'm really busy this week. It's hard for me to log in an extra 4 hours later because I had family stuff planned. You know, like, people, we all have busy lives. And so, like, if I know, okay, I can make Thursday morning my early morning, then that has a value. But that might be something that we try. If we haven't tried it yet, we'll try it in September. So, like, 5 a.m. Thursday streams. I'm not committing to this week. I'm saying at some point in the future, I think that's an experiment worth trying, and I think we can try it in February.
Yeah, and you mentioned September. I would say before your daughter starts her school year, so that you get used to it. If it's something that you decide is a long-term thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how
you do it right when she starts going back to school, that's going to be rough.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is February is kind of in this, like, a lot of times people are kind of... It's kind of a lull in creativity after the holidays sometimes for people. And
I heard September. That's why I was confused.
No.
Okay.
We're talking about February.
Go on. Okay, go on.
February is a good time because a lot of people are going to be looking for easy footage. Like, oh, yeah, let's just pal around, let's just hang out type of thing. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting messages in the Hermitcraft group. Nothing important, just technical stuff.
That's right.
Nothing happening imminently that they're restarting the server for, though. Okay.
Okay, very good.
Chloe the Great and Powerful says, I'd definitely be watching the VODs of those. And Elijah says, same, I watch all the VODs I can. If you like them, that's great. I can't... I've been really happy with moving the VODs to playlists. That was actually something we tried in October.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't planned. That was something I came up with when I was on vacation. I was just thinking about, man, people really like the VODs, but I knew we had the Empires thing coming up. And I knew it was going to be hard for people who were coming to my channel for the first time to find my Hermitcraft and Empires episodes. So that was actually something, was move VODs to dedicated playlists.
Mm-hmm. That is going to be in February?
No, that was back in October we did that. That was an experiment that I came up with on the fly as a result of going on vacation.
I saw February.
Okay. Well, we're back in October 2022 now. Because I'm just
Okay.
like, I'm realizing that there are certain experiments that I'm coming up with and executing on the fly too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, but
That's
let's
Okay.
back to February. February 2023.
Yes.
Possibly try the 5 a.m. Thursday streams. Otherwise, it's gonna be just February is kind of just gonna be more. It's gonna be January overflow, basically. I have a million things that I want to try right after the holidays. So
I made a note of it.
yeah, I'm not gonna stress about, like, basically whatever. It's okay that we have some extra gaps in here because that's gonna catch whatever falls through the gaps in January.
Honestly, definitely don't stress about it either.
Yeah.
I mean, the heck.
Yeah. So once we get back into January here, so once again, Chattacon is MLK weekend. I don't think I'm I'm gonna change that to probably not Chattacon.
I didn't even bother putting it on the plans list.
Yeah, I mean, I love Chattacon, but I just can't.
I know.
I just can't justify it this year. Oh, you know what we actually do need? You know what we do need to try in February? In February is going to be the post-Dracula Saturdays. Because we're going to finish up... We're going to finish up Dracula in January.
I'm putting that up.
And so February is where we're going to actually be experimenting again with the format for that night. On some level, Saturdays used to be just for random poetry and songs before we got caught up with doing Dracula. And I've had a lot of fun doing Dracula, but it might be one of those things where we do a few weeks of just random poetry and songs. I'm not going to promise we're going to roll right into another book right away. But then again, we're a month out from that. And if this is the sort of thing where one day I'll just be walking around and be like, oh my gosh, we should do this. And then just be like, start cackling because it's such a terrible idea. And then we'll do it.
I have a suggestion as a palate cleanser between then and when you decide what the next book will be.
What
if you
was that?
decide to do a book.
Okay. Well, let's go. So sometimes we set up spaces on the wall for like stuff that's not like just for writing down. Okay.
Brainstorming.
Yeah. So post Dracula brainstorming. Okay. So I'm gonna write down your idea. What's your idea, NJ?
Bring back esports.
Okay, that was
You
the
have not
Shakespeare.
done that in years.
And that's
actually what helped bring me to the Patreon.
Actually, doing a few community Shakespeare readings would be a lot of fun. That's a much more solid suggestion than I was kind of just like, okay, I'm sure whatever NJ has here is going to help get us started with brainstorming, but it's not going to be like what we actually do. But I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh, that could be what we actually do. Man, you are starting strong on this. I was
full of coffee and vinegar.
Yeah, usually with brainstorming, it's like, okay, let's get the bad ideas out of the way so we can get to the good ones. But like, no, this is just great.
Occasionally I bring the good stuff. It's fine.
Yeah. So
But I've actually wanted to
esports
see
is
that for a long time.
electronic Shakespeare or random theater stuff. That's where myself and some of the other people in the Patreon community hop in a room. We'd have to, yeah. Well, there's a lot of logistical stuff with esports, which is part of why we kind of got away from it. Like there's like quality control issues with microphones. Like it stresses me
Yeah.
out to have to tell somebody that their microphone isn't good enough or that their internet sucks too much to be part of it. For example, I don't want to do that. But like at a certain point, if I'm putting on a show, random theater shows. Thank you, Vin. Yeah, electronic Shakespeare. Electronic Shakespeare plays or random theater shows. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah. Yeah, let's gosh. Okay. Okay, so let's we're going to make a separate category, bringing back esports brainstorming because okay. Okay, so we need quality control for mics and internet connections. Like I think we need like a gimmick or something for like basically if your mic sucks and I have to kick you from the event, which I don't want to do because these are people who are paying to be part of the Patreon community, but like if there's somebody in the background watching TV, like I can't have that on the show, you know. I think that we have some sort of thing where it's like, okay, if you show up and you can't do it, like, you know, we'll just have somebody else do your part in a different voice. I don't want to incentivize people to show up with intentionally bad mics, though. Like, I feel like having a funny fallback is good, but then people will think the funny fallback is better than them performing themselves. Well, okay, we'll come back to this. It's 10:15. I'm trying. I've got school for my kid in the morning. It's I've got so much editing to do. We gotta keep this moving. We're time boxing this to 10:30.
We're doing great. Hang in there.
Okay, so post Dracula brainstorming. Bring back esports. Real quickly, let's pull up what other. I'm gonna pull up Project Gutenberg, and see like if I just look at like the top, they have like a frequently downloaded. Top 100 ebooks yesterday. A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. Middlemarch by George Eliot. Really? These are interesting choices to be the most popular yesterday.
Alrighty then. Was not expecting that.
I mean, maybe this is why. Maybe it's better to look at like the top last 30 days. A Room with a View is #1 in the last 30 days. Why is A Room with a View all of a sudden huge? Why is that?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Well, clearly it has some merit to it if everybody's reading it.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, okay, we're already doing A Christmas Carol. That's in there. Dracula by Bram Stoker is 24. Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. Kafka could be interesting, but I don't know. I've been told by other people that they find Kafka nightmarishly depressing. So maybe that's a question mark after Kafka.
Excuse me.
The thing is, like, Kafka doesn't have the cachet that like Dracula in some ways is a perfect choice. There's a reason we did it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these top 100 here, and there's some great books in here, but none of them are jumping out at me. A lot of people keep promoting Frankenstein. Um, I I really I don't remember, like, I've read Frankenstein and I don't remember it being particularly readable. When I say readable, like, I mean like out loud. Like,
Hmm.
because Dracula is journals and conversations and stuff. Whereas, like, I'm not saying that Shelley is not a great author. I'm just saying that like, because it's all one point of view character, I don't know that it would necessarily read out loud as well.
It wouldn't translate well
I mean, it
in a
might be
sense.
doable. We should do some test reads of it. Well, and that's why, like, when I've got, like, random, a few weeks of random trying stuff, like, we could try reading part of it and see how it goes. But,
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt to explore.
Joju says, what about Treasure Island? I mean,
Nutmeg suggested it too.
I just,
Grimm's fairy tales are maybe short, but they are not sweet.
well, I guess here's the
A
other
lot
thing,
of
though,
them are more horror stories
is
than
one of the
anything.
nice things about Dracula is it dovetails with, like, a pre-existing interest I have in vampire fiction, right? Like,
Mm, okay.
I really like Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's all sorts of great stuff that I read as a kid, like Bunnicula, which was a bunny that was a vampire.
Oh, I've heard of Bunnicula.
Like vampire stuff is like a recurring theme, and and like Frankenstein and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea did a lot for, like, early science fiction and horror.
Mm-hmm.
And The Time Machine, War of the Worlds, these all, they all have a lot going for them, but
Mm-hmm.
they just don't resonate with me the same way. It's a lot of, like, a book this long is a big commitment.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get 10 chapters in and just be like, guys, I give up, right? I don't, like, part of being good at this job is knowing when to quit, and also
Mm-hmm.
knowing how to not need to quit, right? So we're not going to solve this today,
No.
but Grumpy Bunny says dramatic reading of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's the thing, is I've got next to me here Hunter S. Thompson's Songs of the Doomed.
Oh my
Like,
God. Of course you would.
I'd rather like read excerpts from essays from Hunter S. Thompson. But the problem is I can't read the whole thing because of copyright stuff.
Yeah.
So there might be what is the most recent person that was like Hunter S. Thompson whose stuff is now out of copyright? And is it Bram
Unknown.
Stoker?
Unknown, but it. Did you ever read the Interview with the Vampire series?
No. But that's not going to be in the public domain.
It's not, but I'm just kind of surprised since you said you liked vampires.
Yeah.
Because that was my vampire collection of choice.
Okay. Well, we need to start wrapping up.
Yes, we do.
So
Is
so
there-
we've got we at least have post Dracula Saturdays on the board as something to be thinking about between now and February. We don't have to solve it tonight.
Yes. No.
You know what? I'm actually going to create a channel in the Discord, Joe Hill's Meta, feedback Saturday readings.
Okay.
Saturday readings. So, people from the... So as people think of ideas, they can put them there. As we experiment with stuff, people can, in the Patreon community, can leave feedback. Because that's the sort of thing that, like, having that in a separate place is going to be constructive.
Mhm.
One of the nice things about the feedback rooms I found is that those are very good for me to read, but I kind of made a rule for myself. I'm not going to respond to them in writing. Like, if somebody says, Joe, why did you decide to do this? That to me tells me that the audience has a question I need to answer in the art. Or at least for the feedback creative stuff, right? Like in the feedback creative room, like people are like, so it's good for me to have a place to get that stuff where it's like, okay, but like when people post stuff, I generally just let it wash in, right? Like cast a wide net on that instead of responding to the first 3 people that
Mhm.
write something. Like, okay, we collected feedback from people for a month and then
Yeah.
talked about it. Like Tommy and I talked about it when we were working on the newsletter, and then we're going to talk about it with the community at a quarterly meeting, or in the case of stuff that goes on the stream, like the Dracula stuff, we'd talk about it with the Saturday night
Okay.
crowd.
Yeah, and I see people are already posting their thoughts in that, which is great.
Yay.
Um, in the meantime, what I'm going to do, since we have a few minutes, I'm going to just you look at your board,
Okay.
I'm going to look at the doc, and I'm going to make sure that we are lined up, okay?
Yeah. So for January, let's also add New Year 2023, because that is a thing.
I have it on I have it here already.
We've got MLK weekend.
Okay, that
I don't know.
know
I don't know
either.
that I'm necessarily going to be doing anything on my channel for that, but that is something I need
Um,
to keep in. Be careful not to step on anybody else's stuff, and maybe if they're doing something cool, make sure to try and stream before them and raid them.
that might be something to talk about because I have off of work that day for the first time in years,
Mhm.
and it's a national day of service. So
Mhm.
I was thinking about doing a charity event, but I haven't figured out for what yet and when.
Excellent. Okay.
I
Well,
would love to do something with you.
well, let me know. Well, the thing is, though, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to be available because since my kid goes to the other side of the
Yes.
family and back that day, or for MLK weekend, I
Yeah,
might be sitting in an airport waiting for her.
that's valid.
So
Offline discussion.
yeah. Okay.
So that's we have New Year's MLK weekend. We have nothing in benefit right now.
No, because we basically just draw for planning.
I can put draw floor planning in there.
Because I do need to reach out to people. I need to look at the Tamarat's fate. Did anybody get back to me in Draw for Charity about that? I posted that.
Not that I saw,
No, nobody
but
got back
it
to me.
might be a good idea to post the Twitch link for Draw for Charity. We're talking about it, and people are like, "What?" Real quick, 10-second elevator pitch. Draw for Charity is a group that Joe and I belong to. We sit on the board, and basically we fundraise for Child's Play and World Builders every year. Our World Builders event is going to be starting the Friday of President's Day weekend at around 6 p.m. Central Time and ending that Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time. You can find us on Twitter and Twitch. Twitch at draw for the number 4 charity, and I can post that in the Twitch link. I don't think I can post links in the YouTube chat. So.
I don't know what you can do and what you can't do.
Well, they're your permissions.
Well,
so
the
that's a
YouTube
user,
doesn't
not
let
a me
you
thing.
give people permissions like Twitch does. Is the problem?
Well, YouTube needs to catch up with things, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
Okay. So before my voice completely goes, we have under build snowman ? Pinball pixel art.
Yeah.
And cut the playfield.
Yeah.
You're going to try the pinball machine layout designs during the craft stream, and that's all I have there.
I also have pinball machine art, IRL component footage integration, Hermit Fan UHC.
So Dracula closeout, Hermit Fan UHC.
I mean, I can just send you screenshots of this. We really need to wrap up.
Yes, please.
So I'm gonna not.
That'll save me some grief.
Yeah, let's
continue going through what
let's
I
pretend
have.
we know how computers work. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So,
February, President's Day, Groundhog's
wait,
Day,
why are you still reading it?
because I'm
I need to read Sean. Well, the artist formerly known as Sean Hills.
yay, Redacted Hills.
Over at twitch.tv/redacted hills.
Go follow them too.
Okay. So.
And in the
let me see if I
meantime,
can-
while you are setting up the raid, I will very quickly say
Yes.
that you are all welcome to follow me on twitch.tv/NJCoffeeJunkie. I am cutting it up in the YouTube chat because YouTube chat is YouTube chat.
Oh, I wonder if the auto mod's gonna catch that.
It probably will. It's fine. But I would. I'm a variety streamer, mostly Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Friday nights, and Sunday mornings. I'll be streaming tomorrow Among Us,
And
provided my voice works.
so, over at twitch.tv/redacted hills, the artist formerly known as Sean Hills is working on a synth/electronic parody of The Gambler. I've been working on some pinball themed lyrics about, or to the tune of The Gambler. And I said, hey, could you do this in the style of Scott Denisi? Because everything I ask for is absolutely a horrific challenge. So we'll see how that is going over there at twitch.tv/redacted hills. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do 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 do.